What do you mean one of the greatest money-making times in history, making pretty much exactly what I'm making 10 years ago, 15 even? I just got an invite to my hangout. Hey, everybody, welcome. This is um, the Network Marketing Insider. Yes, number 212. And I want to welcome everybody. Welcome to Swiss Gold Global. IBOs and anybody else who might be thinking about network marketing, you're in the right place too, because did you know that after you take out all the time that you spend sleeping and all the time that you spend, commuting to work and actually working, and then all the time you have to spend running around doing all those things in life that you just have to get done, that at the end of the day, most people have like 1, maybe 2 hours for themselves to do the kinds of things that they like to do. And even if they had more time, would they have more money? Well, we have found a way for you to own your life again by starting a home-based business that is so simple that anybody can do it. Anybody, I mean. And the best part, doesn't involve any selling and doesn't take very much of your time. So, what do you think? Would you like some more information? Send us an email. Hey, John, I'm Paul Romero, and I am hanging out here from Phoenix, Arizona, right here in my living room because it's Freedom Friday with a Hawaiian shirt Friday, and just having a good old time because, that's what we can get from network marketing, building an organization the right way, and that's what these are all about. So where are you hanging from? Let us know. Type your information in there. Tell us who you are, where you're hanging out from. And John, good day today. Where are you hanging out from, John?
Hey, Paul, thank you for welcoming me to the show, because that's what this is. This is the big show with Paul and John. We do these hangouts 3 times a week, and you'd be doing yourself a service by joining us. This is a hangout that's devoted to personal development and network marketing. I apologize. I'm going to be a little bit slow going here.
You're not. Don't be apologizing.
I just woke up. But anyways, I'm hanging from Phoenix, Arizona, about 1.5 miles from where Paul's hanging out from, and glad to be here today because it's one of my favorite days of the session, one of my favorite hangouts, and that's because it's Freedom Friday, and I just love freedom.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Hey, you know what? There's just, it's amazing how much opportunity there is out there in the world today. It's funny because for so long, like in the, let's see, what decades here? Probably like I didn't really give a crap in the 70s so much. But in the 80s, pretty much in the 80s, late 70s and the 80s, I kind of always said, God, I could just get $10,000. I know that I could, make something big, and I could make myself and, create something and get rich and all that stuff. And, of course, I never got $10,000 because I never had the habit of saving, and I never had pretty much more than $10 when it came time for that next paycheck to roll around on Friday. And I know there's probably a lot of you out there that are very comfortable, not very comfortable, but very uncomfortable with knowing that that's sort of how, things happen for you. By the time payday comes around, if you got $10 left, that's, hey, you did pretty damn good that week, right? Well, it did so happen that in the what was it, the early 2000s, I guess, maybe? I did get, no. What am I thinking? I don't know. Maybe it was the late 90s, whatever. I did get $10,000. And guess what? I didn't get rich. But it's because I had no clue what was available and how to do it. More importantly, how to do it. There was probably a lot of stuff available. I was looking around at that point in time. I was looking around for something online that I could, and that was an interesting era because there was definitely a lot of scam, crap, garbage, BS stuff out there. And there probably still is today. Maybe I'm just better at finding it now. But, but there was definitely a lot of online scam, crap, BS stuff out there that you could spend money on. And then, you know what? There probably none of it was scam crap BS. It was probably all good stuff, but I was just one of those people that didn't know how to do it. And because I didn't know how to do it, whatever it was that I, got involved with, that I paid to get involved with, failed because I failed it. And the interesting thing about that is that, learning the skills of success is what's going to be able to give you the success that you're looking for at whatever it is. And network marketing is just one of the avenues that you could potentially do something in. In fact, I looked up passive income, creating passive income the other day, and saw a list of 43 ways to create passive income. Some of them were kind of goofy, but I guess if you have a garage sale, I guess that's creating passive income. I don't know, but there's just so much stuff. Now that I'm learned some of the skills of success, and now that I'm looking around in the world and seeing, the ways to create passive income, to, get yourself to a position where you do have financial freedom, which is what, everybody wants, so that you can, have, be, and do whatever the heck it is that you want to do without having to worry about money or anything like that. Now that I'm starting to look around, I mean, there is a lot of opportunity available today. And quite honestly, probably right now, more opportunity available than really probably almost any other time in history. Just because, we are kind of transitioning into a new era. We've been living, the Industrial Revolution, I guess, started in like 1770, where you have people who are basically having to do everything by hand, and the only help that they have, or the only way that they have to increase their productivity, is by having children and having a bigger family so they can get more done. And that was like the way it was. And then this Industrial Revolution thing happened, and people start making machines that can do the work that a man could do, create things, build things, put things together that a man would previously have to do by himself, by hand. And these machines can now start pumping them out, in mass quantity. And it changed the world. And like 1776, this is when they say this started, or 1770s, and went into like the 1840s or 20s to 40s, something like that, the American, quote, revolution that turned the tide. But then, I mean, you look at things, 1840 to the 1940s, look at all the things that were created: cotton gins, steamships, be able to move products across the world and the country and that sort of thing. And then, of course, in the last decade, in the 1900s here, I mean, this just gotten huge. I mean, manufacturing, creating, cars, automobiles, I mean, huge, gigantic manufacturing plants and things like that. The Industrial Revolution basically exploded and kind of obviously maxed out. Because the interesting thing is I was thinking that, just recently this transition has started, but in all actuality, 1970s is when they sort of now dubbed this the information age. And so this information data sort of revolution really kind of started back in the 70s. So we've been kind of going through this transitioning out of that industrial era and into this information data era. Because I guess just recently I saw that, I think 2005 or something, I forget the date exactly, but they dubbed us now into the big data era. And so, but this is a transitional time. If you look back to what I was talking about in the 1700s, when man had to do everything by himself, and then we started creating machines. Now we're creating intellectual properties that can even kind of do the work of the machines and the men altogether. So this is a whole nother transition. And whenever there's a transitional period, I mean, think back to when men had to do things by hand. Now all of a sudden they're creating machines. These machines need to be operated by people. There's all this product and service going on. Look at all the jobs and the opportunity that was created then. People could learn how to drive steamships or run cotton gins, or all these things that people could do that they could never do before, all this new opportunity that opened up. And that's the same thing that's going on now when we're transitioning sort of out of the industrial age and into this information age. There's all these new opportunities being created in so many different areas. So I just want to say that, like I titled this, the greatest wealth building opportunities happen, during the transition of an era. And that's kind of what we're in right now, is the transition of an era. And if you are interested in changing your life and being successful and having everything you ever wanted to have, be, and do, there's no better time in your lifetime than right now.
I couldn't agree with what you just wrapped up your little monologue, if you will, with right there. And that is, now is the best time to make a move and an action into one of these vehicles that are going to provide you passive income. And you're going to be successful and can make more money now. And there is actually, contrary to popular belief, an overabundance of opportunities for success. And we're talking specifically financial success here, but there is plenty of opportunities. So disregard naysayers and people that say there aren't. Regardless of what the economy does, because right now things are looking a little not so bright. Stock prices down historically low, while commodities and things are historically low. And that's never happened before in history of the stock market. So we're in really volatile times. But with that volatility, you typically have the hugest wealth transfers. We had this conversation with somebody last night, pretty dynamic, interesting person who's involved with network marketing as well, and is kind of taken it to a whole other level of most anyone I've met in network marketing, talking about the $1 million a month mark, and showed us his model. And those are very realistic numbers with what he's doing. But the conversation we had last night basically was about the opportunities that are available out there, and not just in network marketing, but anytime you have a major volatility in the market, anytime there's a recession or a Great Depression, all that's really happening is a massive transfer of wealth. So which side of the fence do you want to be positioned on? Unfortunately, if what a lot of these market experts are predicting, and the outlook for 2016 and the volatility expected between now and 2022, there's going to be a great massive transfer of wealth. The same thing happened in 07 and 08. The only thing that's going on now is that the majority of us out there, I won't say us because I'm not included in this group, I feel have positioned themselves wrong by clinging to those old values, not even values, I don't want to use that word, but clinging to those old ideas of what money is and what having a job means and security with a job. The people that are thinking back to this country being the way it was pre-1972, when we got off the gold standard, there's still the 98% of people don't know that money hasn't been money for 40 years. That's one of the educational pieces of Swiss Go Global, but I'm not getting into a pitch about that. I just want to drive home the fact that things are extreme. Money isn't money for 40 years, yet 98% of the people that carry around spend money. Everybody's life revolves around it, and 98% of the people out there don't understand it, thinks what money is, what it was before 1972. You also brought up some interesting little key factors in the changes that have occurred in America. And my next statement has to directly relate to jobs and what kind of jobs are out there. Man, people have to realize, and you even hear it with presidential candidates like Donald Trump, about making America great again. Define making America great again. Because quite frankly, listening to Donald Trump, who I think is a brilliant man, he's a maverick, he's a billionaire, he's done it in real estate, network marketing, multiple businesses, what have you, yet he's pushing about bringing manufacturing jobs back to America. Those jobs are never, effing coming back to America, period, end of the story. He's bullshitting you by saying that, because he knows, as well as those of us who are informed, that America has been on a steady path of outsourcing jobs in everything from manufacturing to telemarketing since the mid-70s. 1980s, you had a big movement from unions about bringing America back, and the busting up of all it's part of the reason why Detroit is a shithole compared to third world countries, is because all that manufacturing, all those jobs, they're gone. Those jobs are never coming back. I'm going to get a job that's going to support me from cradle to grave. Those jobs are never coming back. I mean, it's a reality. We have to realize that we're in a new world now. Quite frankly, in my opinion, a better world, because there's so many better ways to make more money than you could ever possibly make in a job. These opportunities are out there. And I kind of think that entrepreneurial spirit, at least what I'm seeing, is that's gaining momentum. That, to me, is the future, your financial future. Your financial future lies in your ability to spot opportunities and get involved in working for yourself to create your own economy, and not being subject to a job where you're relying on a boss to make sure that he's feeding you and your family each and every paycheck. Those days are gone. Those days have changed, admittedly so. And the opportunities now with just network marketing alone are all centered around this concept of passive monthly residual income. Very important statement I just made there, because that's what's so attractive to Paul and myself about network marketing is two things I look for. If I'm going to be involved in network marketing, it's got to be a product or a service that I believe in and I feel has value to people. Not saying the lotions, the potions, the herbs, and the shakes don't have value for people, but I'm not excited about sharing that with people. I am excited about Swiss Gold Global, and I'm excited about a few other network marketing products and service that are out there that I'm a consumer of as well, because it fits my criteria. It's a product or service I believe in. Number two, is it a product or service that you don't have to continually sell over and over and over and over and over again, out there constantly bringing new people in to sell more and more of the product? Hence why I don't like vitamins, lotions, potions, tonics, and shakes, because I like something that is subscription-based, but a subscription-based product or service that is so good that the retention rate for people is long term. Not something that, like what did we talk about last night? 95% of the network marketing companies and products have a 3-month drop-off rate. Where after 3 months, the person you brought in or sold to is no longer buying. You have to go out and get it again. Look for a vehicle that produces passive income. And I stress this in relation to what you were talking about, Paul, with like different ideas and stages sort of in world and American history, from the revolution to the industrial age to the information age to this, bringing it back now to the concept of passive income. This idea of passive income has been known by the rich and the wealthy for a very long time. It's actually quite new to the mainstream, popularized in the 90s by the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book. That is the first person to come out and say, your house is not an asset. It's the bank's asset, because you're providing the bank with passive monthly income. And that book is really what brought to the mainstream the idea of, you want to win the money game, you want to retire, you want financial freedom, you need to create streams of passive income, money you don't have to work for.
How is a house how is a house ever thought of as an asset when you gain maybe over time through traditional appreciation factors, over a 30-year period, you might gain $50,000 in equity. But whatever I'm saying, let's say $100,000 house, maybe you gained $50,000 in equity. But by the time it's all said and done over that 30-year period, you also paid 300 grand for the damn house. So how is it ever considered an asset in the first place?
All it is an outflow of cash on a monthly basis if you own a home, even after the 30 years, because you've got maintenance. Your home is never really an asset.
No, exactly.
You know what? We are running out of time. Funniest thing in the world to me, though, when the first time I walked off of a dealership with a brand new car, and the guy shakes my hand and he looks me in the eye and says, "Congratulations on the purchase of your new asset." And I'm like, "Listen, bud, you already sold me the car. I know for sure this isn't an asset. I just lost 10 grand of the value the second I pulled out of your parking lot with the fucking car." I mean, seriously. Cars, these things, they're never assets.
Yep.
But
well, for somebody who just woke up and wasn't ready to, you sure perked up there, John.
Well, you know what? I get very passionate about what it is that we're talking about. Yep. I get very passionate about helping people and finding ways to bring ideas, products, or services to people that'll bring them a passive income stream. And that's kind of where things have headed. I'm going to throw it back to you, Paul, but the new, I guess, movement now in my mind is positioning yourself as an entrepreneur, positioning yourself to take advantage of the wealth transfer and start thinking about getting out of your job and getting into something that you're going to work hard at for a shorter period of time, yet you're going to be doing things that are going to create a residual income that's going to pay you over and over and over and over and over again, whether you're asleep, whether you're in Tahiti. Is Tahiti what I wanted to say? I don't want to go to Tahiti. I want to go to Bora Bora. I don't know where Tahiti came from, but I'll go there too. I'm just saying.
Bora Bora.
Yeah. No matter.
You got to go to Tahiti to get to Bora Bora.
So passive income's where it's at. There's plenty of opportunity. That's the wave of the future, is getting involved in something that's subscription based with a monthly cash flow where you're not selling anything to people, you're sharing something with people that can get them paid time and time and time again. So Paul, why don't you wrap us up? I'll go on forever.
Two quick things I just want to touch on. You said a statement by one of the politicians being a part of their platform, so to speak, bringing manufacturing back to America. You know what? That is nothing more than a, quote, vote-getting statement for all of the people of the mentality that we want everything to go back to the way it was. That's how you get votes, okay? That's all that's for. Secondarily, you said something about relying on a boss to feed your family, and that whole era of working for someone else is gone. It's not gone. It's probably not ever going to be gone, because there always has to be labor to feed business. But it is transitioning also. It's transitioning from the manufacturing industry to the service industry. The jobs that you're going to have in the future are doing something for somebody else. Period. End of conversation. You're not going to be making something for somebody else. You're going to be doing something for somebody else. You're going to be serving them their hamburgers or making their beds or whatever the case might be, poking the needles in their arms or, service stuff. That's what it's switching to. And then the final thing, what you totally wrapped it all up to be right there, is that entrepreneurialism is the wave of the future. And with that, universe, I ask not for more riches, but more wisdom, with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire. And that is to be an entrepreneur and have all that I wish to have, be, and do in this world. And you can have it too. And network marketing is one of the ways. And so it's just go global, and you can get a hold of us and we can help you out, and see you on New Op Day.